Hi everybody, if you watch my videos you'll know that I often mention the advantages of using a Netduma router, which is special firmware to reduce lag, which in turn helps your performance in first-person shooters and specifically in Call of Duty. However, I've been nervous that I always use general terms to describe the improvement the Netduma gives you. I'll say that playing with the Netduma feels better. It seems that I win more gunfights and I get less frustrated, but that's only my opinion, and if you're thinking about buying a Netduma router, you'll probably want some more concrete facts and figures. So, for the last few days I've been grinding through 60 matches of Black Ops 3 and the Xbox 360, playing free-for-all and team deathmatch, both with and without the Netduma active, to see what difference the R1 gaming router made. I chose free-for-all and team deathmatch because I felt that these are the most common game modes people play, and also the modes where you encounter the most gunfights. You know, those situations where you come around a corner and you and your enemy see each other at the same time and start shooting at roughly the same time too. I played the 15 games each of team deathmatch and free-for-all first with the Netduma on, and then 15 games each with the Netduma off. I recorded the relevant data on a simple spreadsheet and the results were quite surprising. I learned a lot about my playing style, the weapons I'm effective with, and most importantly, the mindset that helps me win. I played with what I thought were the most appropriate guns and tactics for the game modes and the tactics and enemies I was coming up against. And I didn't change my classes, score streaks or specialists for the duration of the test. I played to win, not to protect my kill-death ratio, so I was trying to win at free-for-all and help my team win in team deathmatch. I pushed forward looking to engage with the enemy team if they were holding back, and sometimes I'd hold like an active defence if they were being aggressive. I tried to play tactically by flanking and getting behind the enemy rather than blindly rushing in, and if things weren't working out I wasn't afraid of changing my class and my tactics. Before we jump into the results, I want to say that you don't need a Netduma to perform well at Call of Duty. In fact, some of my best matches were with the Netduma off. The most important factors are gun skill and map and mini-map awareness and the tactics you use. But if you've got those already and then you throw in a Netduma helping with the lag, you'll have a much more enjoyable and less frustrating time, and you'll get more consistent results. Now let's look at the free-for-all results first, which for me probably were the most surprising. I don't play that much free-for-all unless I'm forced to because of the ever-present connection issues on the 360 version of Black Ops 3. And I thought that the Netduma would have the most effect on this game mode because I assumed that it would have more gunfights than Team Deathmatch. But it turned out that I had some of my best games with the Netduma off. In the free-for-all matches, my average kill-death ratio without the Netduma was 1.5. And with the Netduma it was 1.7, and that's just a 13% increase. My average score without the Netduma in free-for-all was 2,138, and with the Netduma it was 2,345, which is an increase of around about 10%. And when you also factor in the fact that my best matches in free-for-all were both without the Netduma on. I did a 30 for 10 on Stronghold with the VMP and also 130 for 9 on Combine with the VMP. You may wonder whether the Netduma is worth the £150 or so asking price. However, if we dig a little deeper and look at the actual match results, the picture is a little different. Without the Netduma, out of the 15 matches that I came out of the 15 matches, I came in the top 3 7 times out of 15. And with the Netduma on, I came in the top 3 10 times out of 15. An increase of 40%, which is pretty good. And also, without the Netduma on, I only came second once. But with the Netduma on, I came second 4 times, which is much better. And without the Netduma, I only won once out of 15 games. But with the Netduma on, I won 3 times out of 15. So, if we just look at coming first and second in free-for-all, without the Netduma I came in the top 2 twice. Yet with the Netduma I was in the top 2 7 times. An increase of about 250%, which is absolutely brilliant. What I found was that in free-for-all, to do well, I've got to play tactically because I'm not good enough with my speed and accuracy just to rush around all the time. So I have to stop and listen out for footsteps to get the jump on people and work around the flanks to get on the side and get behind them rather than engaging in constant gunfights. Also, before I played so many rounds of free-for-all, I would have said that I didn't really enjoy playing it, but now I really love it. Next up, Team Deathmatch, where I was looking at the average KD ratio and average score. Win or loss isn't a good a metric because it's a team-based game, and as you get better, you get put on teams with worse players, so it can become more difficult to win. Over the 15 games without the Netduma, I had an average score of 1490, and with the Netduma, my average was 1613, an average increase of 8%, which isn't that much, but when we look at the kill-death ratio, we see my average went from 1.5 without the Netduma to 2.3 with the Netduma, an increase of just over 50%, which I think is great. If you're interested in the wins and losses, without the Netduma I won 6 and lost 9, and with the Netduma I won 9 and lost 6. But take that result with a pinch of salt, because an awful lot of those wins or losses depended on my teammates, whereas in free-for-all it's basically all down to me. So it turned out that I was being involved in a lot more gunfights in Team Deathmatch, so the Netduma had a higher effect on my KD ratio. I think that this is because Team Deathmatch is a more popular mode, and there's a lot of people rushing constantly off spawn, and especially as a lot of the time you find yourself on Combine, a small map, you're often coming around corners and running into opponents, where the Netduma's lag elimination allows you to come out on top in most of those gunfights. What the figures can't show is that I felt like I was having to work a lot harder without the Netduma. I couldn't rely on winning gunfights, so I had to be a little bit more careful, and I had a smaller choice of weapons. Basically, I had to run the VMP, the KM44, or the XR2, depending on the side of the map. Another higher accuracy but maybe lower damage weapons like the ICR1 or the HVK didn't seem to be as effective. To round it all up, I'd summarise the analytical results as this. For me, over 30 games of free-for-all, I was 40%, or just about under half as more likely to end up in the top 3 with a Netduma. But I was 250%, or 2.5 times more likely to end up in the top 2 with a Netduma, which is pretty amazing. With Team Deathmatch, I'll put it a bit more simply. With a Netduma, my KD ratio went from 1.5 to 2.3, a 50% increase, which I guess most players would be very happy with. Remember with all this that I'm an average player, and I'm not suggesting you can't win with an Netduma. In fact, you can do just as well, but it's a lot harder, and I'd actually recommend to any Netduma owner that if they want to really improve their tactics, turn the Netduma software off for a while and struggle without it. Because when you take the better skills you learn from playing with lag back into the games where the Netduma is on, you'll play even better. I'll finish off by saying that the Netduma makes you better. The figures prove it. But I'll go back to my original statements that it also makes Call of Duty more fun, less frustrating, and a better game. All this testing was done on Black Ops 3 on an Xbox 360 using a LAN cable, the Netduma router with geolocation to about 290 miles and the optimal settings for Call of Duty. My internet is Virgin Fibre 150 megabits a second. I'll be repeating these tests on the PS4 pretty soon too, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with the next-gen console and all the extra players that I'll be running into. Anyways, thanks for watching, hit the like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you again soon.